Have you noticed the energies this week? How's your energy been this week? How have you found energy? I found it weird. It's probably the best way to describe it. Weird. Hang on a second. Let me just turn off my sound so I'm not getting any feedback. It's been a bit, and I'm doing a special video on it that's coming out tomorrow. I was going to do it on the live tonight, but there's a lot of information, different screens that I need to use and stuff like that. And the only way I can really do that, to be honest, is, if I've got someone who's editing with me, a bit like Joe Rogan, sort of saying, is it Jamie? Jamie, can you just bring that up, please? Because otherwise it just gets a bit too technical, and I'll spend half my time sort of looking at my computer trying to do things rather than sort of conveying and so forth. So, let me just see from the chats, see if there's anything going on with the chats. White Feather, how you doing? Lovely to see you. Welcome. Yes, I was just sort of saying how weird the energies have been, and the special I want to do on the live. And the funny thing is, I second that. Do you, Lynn? You second that? Weird is the right word, not negative or heavy, just weird. Yeah. I got Michael. How you doing? Lovely to see you, my friend. It has been heavy at times, though. I've got to say, Lynn, for me personally, and I think for quite a few people, been a bit heavy, but been very, very weird. Vita, lovely to see you. Welcome. And but it has been weird, hasn't it? And I think this is the thing that sort of leads me up to it is looking at the messages from energy and the changes each week as it goes through, like almost like it's like a timepiece that's ratcheting up in a way. And not this week just gone, the week before, saying how subtle energies can make massive changes in reality. And that's what it was like. It was not like the energy was subtle changes. It was massive changes from one day to another. Really, from one day to another. And for me personally, and for quite a few people, I was going to do, because I got 3 or 4 people that I've been speaking to about this, and I was trying to get everybody into a collective live so everyone give their own experiences. And the funny thing is, on one particular day, we'd already gone through the day, and I turned around to my daughter, and she's only 15, and I don't like to pre-program anybody, so I allow my daughter to live and grow up and be a child, and before I start getting on and sort of like, hammering her with things like, it's all about energy and it's consciousness and stuff like that. She's got to come to her own sort of like just understanding, and she has done. I take her dowsing and stuff like that. It's absolutely brilliant, but. And she understands the concept that she's a very spiritually inclined person, like all of my kids really, but and spiritually inclined person. I just sort of like said to her, I've just seen Gray, people have been insane. We'll get on to all of that. A lot of folks around me have seemed to totally clueless and unthinking. Yeah, is this the zombie world? But anyway, I said to my daughter, I said, how was your day yesterday? And she just went, talking about a particular day. And she just went, I was just angry all day. I don't know why. I was just annoyed. The whole time I was annoyed. And it was just so spot on, and obviously she's still a teenager, so she's still learning a lot about life, she's still in those first sort of like 24 years of the apprenticeships In the Astroflower, I say the first 24 years, there's 6 rhythms in that. There's 9 months, 18 months, 3 years, 6 years, 12 years, and 24 years. And then we repeat 24 to 48 in the creation years, between 24 and 48. And then obviously from 48 onwards, we can no longer create in the same sort of way. We don't have the same sort of energy and stuff like that. So, understanding where she is in her life, just try and keep it as light as possible. But she was being affected by it without even thinking about it. And that's why, and then I was speaking to several other people that had also been affected by it in very similar ways. It's got to be said, in very, very similar ways. So, and so this comes from that first energy update or messages from energy that I did a couple of weeks ago, which was all about subtle changes in energy can make enormous changes in reality. Then this week coming up, this week just gone, was all about focalizing on a message. And all the readings this week that I've done, it seemed to have a central point of our physical engagement in life. That seemed to be the central point. But then there's many aspects of that physical engagement in life. And, it can be on a spiritual front, it can be on a financial front, it can be on an emotional front and everything like that. And it's like, and each sign seemed to have its own sort of understanding coming through this week about that all. And it seems like, and this is what the video that's coming out on Monday is about, that splitting of the two worlds. And this is what's happening in 2026. And I used to listen to Dolores Cannon like 20 odd years ago, 30 years ago. So you could see it all sort of coming up, as it were, back in the days when you're listening it on sort of like Coast to Coast and stuff like that, and it seems to concur. And there's complications with all of that. And I think what we're doing here at the moment, and I said it a lot in the weekly readings as well, that over the next month and a half, 2 months, quite literally to the end of February, beginning of March, period, seems to be like a dry run. Not necessarily a dry run, but like a dry run. Like we're starting to learn, okay, this button does this button does that button does this button does this button does that. Okay, now let's try and play it all together, a bit like a DJ sort of thing. And it seems to be this week that came through with the energy, as we were saying. It's like, energies are really weird at the moment. And we get caught off guard. Everybody gets caught off guard. I got caught off guard. Everybody gets caught off guard. There was nothing to sort of show that energy, that type of energy, to be coming through. Now, obviously, there's lots of speculation that can come out of that. Was that energy natural? Was it created? There's multitudes. You can go down a multitudes of rabbit holes here. But you can't get away from the fact that the energy was weird. And within that weirdness, there seems to be an understanding for each and every single one of us about how we engage in life and how we physically engage in life. And it's like when that weirdness happens, and I've been saying it for some, quite a few weeks now, probably about a month, if not a little bit more, that, bringing yourself back to your path, even if it's as simple of kind of going, oh, I've got to go and get that, that birthday cake down the baker's, or just a bit of cake for me down the baker's anyway. But, it's just keeping on that sort of like almost a semi-routine factor going on, but also exploring your joys and happiness. And the day that I got caught out on it, to be honest, it took me quite a few hours to get my head around it. And it was almost as if like kind of it had a moment of kind of going, oh, right, okay. This is one of those lessons. This is one of those days where you learn how to actually, it's almost as if like, I feel like that, we're scrutinizing ourselves, putting ourselves under test, like a control test, kind of sort of seeing our own reactions to the energy and so forth. And it seemed a little bit like that. And when I realized that, I managed to sort of like pull myself out of the non-zone, the weirdness, and pull myself back to, okay, the energy's weird. I can just be back being me in a way, sort of thing. So, yeah, it helped me to get back onto learning whilst that energy is being weird, and not really allowing myself to fall into that trap of it's like falling into the river of energy, when you can quite happily just kind of leave it to go through its own weirdness and torrent and what have you, and just sit on the side in the sunshine, and enjoy the sunshine. So, for everybody, I was sort of, it's a way of progression that it affects you less when you come out the other side of it. Because I don't know about you, and you could probably all tell me about this, about how you feel. Like you might have had one particular day that was really full on weird. And then like 2 or 3 days later, when it was weird, but not so weird as that other day before. And it was almost like a ripple effect, if you know what I mean. And it comes through, and eventually you get to a point where the energy goes a little bit weird, and you've got your automated ways of dealing with things. And we find that on a personal level is, I could probably tell you what to do, but that I'm not sure that's probably the best thing for you either. I think it's much better you discover for yourself through physically how you're physically feeling the energy through your body, and starting opening up that conversation with your body, because your body is there, it's helping you. And if you listen to your body, you'll get rid of so much in the way of stress and strains in life. And it's much easier to understand the energy of what's going on around you, and allowing you to reposition according to. Because we're all living in different places and different lives, and with different family situations and what have you, and all of that. And, if we can, it's a real personal thing with energy. It's, and within that person to energy sort of situation, we end up with the collective. There seems to be a sort of, a viewpoint that comes out of the collective without us actually having to actually decide anything. So it does sort of like give us an opportunity to understand how we can progress enormously while the rest of the world is not progressing. Now, Gray said earlier on that people have been insane, and a lot of folks around me seem to have to be totally clueless and unthinking. Okay, so Michael says it's all a test of awareness to realize where we're putting it. This is exactly it. And it helps us to be aware on different angles each time. And I think we're going to go through this over the next sort of like 2 months, as I say, periodically, where the energy is going to change, and it's going to help us to sort of like readjust and kind of sort of like, or reevaluate our engagement in life. So Lynn says, I told a friend of mine that it's all a little bipolar-y. Yeah, I'm calling it wonky donkey. That's what I've been, wonky donkey or winky dinky. Something like that. That's what I've been calling it. Winky dinky or wonky donkey. Yeah. Priscilla, hi there. Scorpio asking for carer. Thank you. So you're asking for a carer, are you? Are you asking for someone to work as a carer or something like that? Where are you from, Priscilla? give us a bit of an idea where you are in the world, because I could do it, but I'm in the UK, and you're probably not in the UK, and I probably couldn't help that. Is that Little Red? Is that Little Red? Hello, Little Red. How you doing? Another Scorpio here, and I would love to hear about career too. Scorpio. Was it Scorpio? I tell you, it was Libra, had an amazing financial side of things. Oh, so it was career, not carer. My bad. Are you talking about career? I completely wrong read that. Winky dinky, yeah. Hi all. Just catching up with the live this week. Has felt like a roller coaster. It has a bit. You know. That's life. That's life. That's what they say. Riding high in April, shut down in May. That's what it felt like. Didn't it? You know, you're riding high, and then all of a sudden, it's like someone pulls, it's like a cartoon sort of thing. Someone just pulls the floor out from beneath you, and you're just left there kind of going, love the vibe in this group. Yeah, no, man, welcome, Megan. Is this the first time, Megan? Welcome, Megan. We're all part of the solution, so yeah, welcome. Scorpio had an amazing lesson this week, didn't they? I try hard to remember everything that I've been doing. I was blaming menopause. Do you know what? As a bloke, I think you're right. It did feel a little bit menopausey, didn't it? For blokes, obviously, it's an entrepause. But yeah, it did feel a bit like that. And understanding that was going on. Last night had night terror, really, which I haven't had in a couple of years. Wake you up, did it? Okay, so yeah, career. So everyone wants to know. You want to all know about your careers, do you? Okay. I can't. Do you know what I mean? I've got to go back to sort of see what I said about Scorpio off the top of my head. I can't quite remember what it was about the career. It was something particular, wasn't it? I'm just gonna have to find it, unless you can tell me. Let me have a look here. Just want to have a look what the title was more than anything else, because then it usually sort of like. Spread your wings, joy. Okay, yes, and let me just bring it up so I can then see what it was all about. Yeah, wasn't it something about there was like a meeting, wasn't there? Like someone coming into your life, sort of connecting with you. Sort of networking thing that's gonna sort of, and you've got to be, I'd keep your cards close to your chest in a way where you don't give everything away and you don't emotionally impact things, and you sort of like taking the emotions out of the situation, as far as I can remember about that sort of thing. It's important to stay centered and grounded at the moment. Yeah, most certainly is, Megan. I would say centered and grounded. Nature Listens, how you doing? I will be putting a message through to the group from Kirby. We're just doing a bit of housekeeping here. Sorry. I will be putting a message through. I was going to wait till you did. You and Connor did the move, and this is also for Julie. And we'll when you're settled, we'll get it together. Had a migraine day. I'll tell you what, that's the other thing that came up. Yeah, migraines. I never get headaches. I literally never get headaches. And I got one this past week. And very weird for me, because I don't ever get them, So you're an actress, are you? A really hard job. My daughter's trying to get into all of that, always depending on someone else's choice. Yeah, maybe you should make your own movies, you know, make your own sort of thing. But the migraine thing, yeah, was definitely for the first. So you had a headache for the first time in years, yeah. It was the weirdest of energies. It was the weirdest of energies. Love the Capricorn reading. I'm glad you did. Did you, Lynn? Yeah, it was a good reading. My new year starts on the 17th. Your birthday's on the 17th. Happy birthday to you on the 17th. So I'm so excited for the energy. Manifesting a great one. Yeah, it's going to be a great one. Where's that other one? Julie. So yeah, it was blooming awful. I guess you're talking about the night terror. Something was trying to suck out my soul. Really? What was the thing? What was the entity that was trying to do that? Could you see the entity? Could you describe it a little bit? What sort of feeling you sort of got off it? So Indigo says, I agree, there's lots to be learned, especially on an emotional level. I think it's, yeah, emotionally how we engage in life. And that's what a lot of people had. And it was also with Scorpio, I think. It was the emotional engagement of the career path. And, you know, that you've done a lot of the work and feeling that confidence within yourself to sort of like step forth, so you're not wasting your energies or your emotions into that sort of thing. And yeah, I think it's you know, learning especially how we engage our emotions. And I think you know, a lot of the time our emotions should be, you know, still, to be honest. So when you do get an emotional height or input coming from you, according to, and this is what it seems to be about, of how we engage in the physical world and what sort of emotions it provokes in us. If it's a pure emotion, then follow it and allow it fully to exist, because it won't exist for, you know, forever. It is all, emotions are a fleeting thing in a way, and it gives us almost like an orchestra. It's part of the orchestra that plays a part of the sonnet or the piece of music, and emotions have got to do that. It has that moment in the sun, as it were. You know, it's strange. I had a headache too. Did you, Lynn? Yeah. That's also been a recurring thing for everybody. Just reminding me, that was weird for me, and yeah, it was incredibly weird. I did actually, and this is from Indigo. I did actually about 3 days ago. Where's it gone? And you had suffered from it as well. Yeah. Was a tool. The person was so. Oh, Little Wave, how you doing there? Welcome. Yeah, lovely to see you. So this is from Julie. So I have this. Funny you should say this, Julie. You know, I don't normally dream, and I have been having some dreams. Some of them have been quite nice. Some of them have been none of them have been horrible, I've got to say. But some of them seem to be work. You know, I was working. You know, so it was a skinny and held onto my wrists and wouldn't let go, wanting to hurt me physically. Just wanted my soul completely different to my normal terrors. Oh, okay. As I was laid on my side. It sounds like what you're trying to process within, because that's what I did a thing on dreams, didn't I? Did a video on dreams about the process of going into dreams, where when we're into dream world, it's that defragmentation of when we're slipping into deep sleep, where we defragment the day, and as we come out of the deep sleep, we're defragmenting how we want to be, you know, going on. is it possible that my interpretation of it would be, is it possible that, Julie, that you may it may be a situation where there's obviously, someone's trying to stop you from changing, from being who you should be. I don't want to cause any sort of, discord or anything like that, because it doesn't have to be discord at all. The main thing is this is the other thing, when you are changing and it's happening to you, it is really important to express that verbally to people that are around you, so they do not get surprised about you changing. So then you avoid a lot of confrontation and complication and misunderstandings. It's really important to keep your family and your friends in the loop, kind of going, I think I'm changing. I think I'm realizing. It's always good to have a, touching base with people like that on a regular thing. So dizzy is affecting me. Dizziness is dizzy is affecting me. Bed swims as I'm laying down. Wendy, yeah, I haven't had the dizziness, but I can understand. It's possible that you have to make sure that it's also, there could be physical effects and stuff like that. You have to look into that as well. This is our physical engagement. This is where we can really understand how energy is really affecting us, or do you know what I mean? If you ate 2 tablespoons of salt, you're probably going to be pretty dizzy. So, it's understanding that sort of thing. Cosima, hi Tom, love, thanking you very much. I've been feeling off all day. Started with waking up from a disturbing dream. You had a disturbing dream as well. Oh wow. I'm glad I found the light. Well, it's always a pleasure to see you here. And maybe this awful feeling is not stemming from me. It's very possible. It's very possible. And so Julie's come back on the dream interpretation and says very possible as well. And, it's, what does, Michael? Feelings have been stirred up by something subconsciously. It is exactly that. Once we start living in energy, and I use energy all the time. I even sort of I'm using energy to sort of say whether I should go down the road and get some milk, for my tea, or whether I should wait off, and stuff like that. When you get to that sort of level, in a way, your subconscious becomes your conscious, if you know what I mean. And almost the world around you becomes a surreal film that you're taking part in, and it should be enjoyable. It should be fun, So yeah, Julie, very possible. That's what it. If someone's holding onto your wrists, right? So wrists are like handles on a door. And it's like they're holding your wrists that are stopping you from grabbing the handle of the door and opening it up and consciously going from one side to the other into something completely new. Indigo, for me, I'm noticing more where my thoughts and emotions are and how it affects the external world. Yeah. And there seems to be a lot of friction in the 3D realm. Very easy to get drawn into the drama. It certainly is, and that is part and parcel. That's what I've been sort of saying that in the messages from energy over the past month and a half, 2 months, and into a lot of readings as well. Sort of saying, don't get distracted from your pathway. Don't let someone saying something. Don't let it trigger you and kind of because you'll go off there and kind of go, you know what I mean? You go off on a rant with someone, and then you're kind of going, what am I doing? I'm wasting my time. Sometimes there's no teaching stupid, and it's, don't get, that's the background thing of not getting involved in it, and not allowing yourself to get distracted. As the pantomime continues. Yes, exactly. Aussie, Aussie Coops, Aussie Co-ops. Hi, my partner and I feel drained, low vibration in areas which where large numbers of people arrive, shopping and etc. Yeah, I think that could be because everybody's experiencing that drop of vibration. It's, as I said, it's like someone's pulls the floor out from underneath your feet, and all of a sudden you're stuck in the void. And this comes onto the video that's coming out tomorrow that I'm going to be doing, and that's a little bit like when I'm doing the message from energy, and I go into the earth, and you look, and as I'm going down, I can see like the crust of the earth above, and there's this sort of like void between the two, which is highly magnetically charged and orientated and disorientated at the moment at the same time. You can see this sort of layer, and it's got this void energy that seems to be pushing up, and it's all to do with pole shift, and that could be the collection there, where all of a sudden the vibration goes out of the moment, and it's very and if everybody has it's like if one light bulb goes down in the chain of light bulbs, all the other ones are going to be following as well, and it could be that as well, really sort of like giving you a hard effect upon it, and especially when you're going like shopping and stuff like that. But yeah, Ozzy, I totally get it. Just spotted your channel. Oh, did you really, Jason? Hello, how you doing? Welcome. Out of nowhere, it came out of nowhere. It often does, based on the title and an experience of the Wolf Moon. All right, okay, that doesn't make sense. I hope it makes sense for you. This was not a dream, as I hadn't even gone to bed as yet. Gone to bed. Anyway, yes. Well, welcome. Part of the solution. Join in. We're talking about the shift and how at moments, and it's particular, the weirdness in energy. This is the thing. The weirdness in energy, it doesn't last forever. It only lasts for a day. At the moment, it's only been lasting for a day at a time. And it gives us a glimpse into a world without direction. That's what it feels like to me. And because we're getting this glimpse into a world without direction, because we're going to go through that over the next year. Certainly, I think it's going to be between March and May period where we're going to have this non-directional energy for a long period of time. And we're going to get the same sort of thing at the end of the year between the end of September and November. And it's for those people who are who are on the ball, or at least engaged in your life now, it's going to be a lot easier to maintain the pathway or maintain the direction in your energy life through these understandings at the moment, and observing and realizing what's happening and what we can learn from these moments of void and weirdness. Could be vertigo, Wendy. That's Vita saying that. Yeah, this is exactly what I said earlier on. Michael, it's stemming from collective experience. There's most definitely part of that. I really think it's like the fifth dimension. It's like the earth has gone through many cataclysms in the past, and often associated with pole shift as well. There's one, we had sort of a similar sort of thing 12,000 years ago, and then before that we could have had it 48,000 years ago. Going back to, so we're talking about Noah and that sort of thing, which is actually very, very, for it to rain for 40 days and 40 nights across the entire globe is very, very possible, because there's a huge amount of oxygen in the higher echelons of the atmosphere. And when the sun blasts off lots of hydrogen, the earth defends itself by sending out that oxygen, so it makes a lot of vapor, and then can then rain, and there's enough oxygen up there in order for it to rain for 40 days and 40 nights. So yeah, and it does stem from a collective understanding and collective consciousness, and part and parcel of this is that sort of moment of which we are going through at the moment, of sort of saying, I would like to retain this reincarnation that I have within this planet, or I want to go back to the beginning, or because I would like to redo it all, because I didn't feel like I learned everything that I was supposed to learn. And then, or there's other people who kind of sort of saying, no, I think I'm going to move on to something else and something new. And that comes from a collective point of view, Michael. It's got to come from a collective point of view as well. So yeah, it does come from a collective experience, most definitely. You know, we are one family. And I keep saying the reason population is so big is because the souls in heaven are all emptied onto the earth, so we can all experience this together. So yeah, I would say it definitely comes from a collective experience. Unconsciously avoiding conflict, that's probably always a good idea. Not engaging at all, but rather sending positive thoughts. Yeah, I let, you know, by not engaging, I just let a lot of it, it's like with family. I love my family, and, I'm a pain in the backside as much for them as they are for me. And that's one of the reasons why I probably love them. We're completely different people, but, through some weird factor, we seem to get along, as well as not get along. And you know what it's like, what I mean? They just chuck out a remark that you just kind of drop your head out the way and just let it go over the top of your head. And I found that that's really helped me, and really, so I don't lose my energy and time in things that are not good for them as much as are not good for me. So yeah, staying grounded is really important. Important at the end, while the energy is settling. That's exactly it. So Ozzy, consciousness and emotions and thoughts. Consciousness and awareness, of emotions and thoughts. Totally. It's like when you go for a review in your life, after this life here, when your body is no longer, it's come to the end of its service, as it were. We tend to review a lot of what we thought, about a situation as much as what we actually did. And we tend to judge things that just kind of think, I didn't even think that was going to be on the exam paper at the end of this life. And yeah, it is very much to do with emotions and thoughts in conjunction with our awareness and consciousness. Sleep better tonight. Yeah. You could, I in my healing sometimes, you can get spirits that come through that are really trying to frighten your brass monkeys off. And, I just kind of go, what are you playing at? Stop it. And you got to have a little bit of that attitude with them. Kind of going, what are you playing at? Why are you holding my wrist like that? Stop it. What are you listening about? I'm going through that. You can come with me if you want. No, you don't want to come with me? Okay, fine, but I'm going. And you've got to have that sort of attitude that goes along with it as well, Julie. So, yeah. Aussie, I don't know what that says, TYVM. That's obviously code for something. I don't know it, unfortunately. Thank you very much. Got it. Thank you very much. Exactly. We find once we leave and go outside, it all starts leveling off. I think being in nature as well generally is a good idea. And I think nature's going to play a massive role in this, much bigger than we think. It's not just talking to the birds, it's actually listening to them, and actually them taking a bit of sort of like kind of going, oh, the birds are running the show, or the dogs are running the show, whatever, do you know what I mean? I think nature's going to be doing a little bit like that. So this is from Indigo. It feels like there's layers that need to come away that we've built really strong with our belief systems. Yeah, there's been, a couple of weeks ago, the tower was really figured in everybody's reading. I used to think we needed to gain more knowledge, but it's quite the opposite. I totally agree with that. I think actually I think we know everything. It's what we're going through at the moment is how do we apply it? That's what it seems to be. Chrissy, good morning to you. This is a heavy morning. Actually, I've just realised this must be quite a heavy show to wake up to, Chrissy, in the morning in Australia. For everyone in Australia and for New Zealand and stuff like that, waking up kind of going, wow, I've got to really get my head in gear straight away. It must be quite daunting sometimes, I guess. Thank you, Nature Listens. Got to go. Okay, big travel day tomorrow. Yes. Good luck with it. Love to the pair of you. And it's going to be absolutely brilliant. Well, we will, the moment you're settled, make sure you tell us, and then we can, get a group thing going on. So, hi, Tom. I'm an empath. How do we activate the shield to protect our energy? Right, okay. I have a problem with protection. So I don't protect anything. The problem with protection I've found, right, okay, is that the more shields you put up, the less you see life. And I think the best thing, if you look at like the Seven of Wands, I've gone and lost my cards. Where have they gone? I've gone and lost my cards. I don't know where they've gone. They've all disappeared, my cards. It's like the Seven of Wands, basically. It's knowing your pathway and sort of like not putting up with anything less than living your pathway. So the other thing is knowing when someone's asking for something from you, and this could be energetically as much as physically or whatever, rather than knowing, you should never ask, why should I help this person or anything like that? Or why am I doing this? It's basically, the only question you should ask is, should I help this person? And sometimes saying no to someone is the biggest help you can give them. And understanding that, and I understand it by listening physically to my body. So when my abdomen starts tightening and my back starts stretching, that's my no. That's my body talking to me and says to me, Tom, if I was you, say no. I don't have to know, I don't have to give reasons to the person or anything. All I've got to do is trust in the greater plan, as it were, or the longevity of things. And there's reasoning behind everything that I don't need to know. So that's one of the first things that you need to do, really. Is understanding that whole sort of like being able to say no and stuff like that, and knowing why you're saying no. Hang on a second, I've just actually got like, there you go. Let me just, I just had a thing over the comments. I couldn't see my comments. So yeah, it's as an empath. Hang on a second. Who actually? Okay, so this is Malia. I guess that's, am I pronouncing it correctly? I hope so. So the best energy that you can have is you living your life. Obviously, it's always great to help people. And to help people, sometimes you need to be empathetic to their situation. But you don't need to live their situation. You've got to understand that that's their situation and not your situation. And that's the difference. Once you realize that, all of a sudden you're going to know how much you can help them and what you can help them with. So when my yes within me is example is like, I get it like certainly down the shoulders and stuff like that. That's my heart chakra sort of kind of going, well, yeah, go on, let's help. And I'll do crazy things. I've driven people from Southampton right down to Cornwall because their grandfather was passing away. And it was at 11 o'clock at night because they've missed the train. I happened to be at the train station. It was in a 1965 Morris Minor at the time, years and years ago, and a couple of mates came with me. We had a great time. Drove this person like 250 miles down to Cornwall. It was mad. No one would ever do that. She was just sort of standing there, sort of saying, "Oh no, I need to get on that train. My grandfather's going to be, he's not going to be here." And she couldn't get on that train. So we looked at each other and we all just kind of went, "Oh, come on, let's take it down there. It'll be a laugh, isn't it?" So we went down there and did a laugh. And sometimes you've got to just do things. And, it's recognizing your energy and recognizing what you've got to do in life, and not being deviated from that will then help you to be a productive empath rather than being an empath that is just, really sort of, you can help people a lot more sometimes with a no than with a yes. So Ozzy's here. Please let me know how I have started today in giving up a addiction. Are the energy levels right? Okay, when's your birthday? Shouldn't really try and give up too much just before your birthday, in about a month and a half, 2 months before your birthday. That's when the cycle of energy is not the speed of energy that's going through your system. You've still got the same amount of energy, but it's just the turnover that's a bit slower. It's like an autumn period, and it's a bit slower. It's not the best time. You can put a lot of stress on other aspects of so some people are coming to see me and say, "Look, I want to give up smoking," and stuff like that. And I'll look at them and I'll see their energy and see where they're positioned and kind of going, to be honest, if you gave up now, you'd probably cause yourself a heart attack, because it'd be too stressful. So maybe it's best that, we work out another moment and build up to it rather than doing it at this moment. So, look to see when your birthday is it right? And we'll work from there. Just tell me when your birthday is, and I'll pick it up. We'll pick it up from there. I'm getting behind on my on my here we go. So this is Jason. This is with the wolf. Hang on a second, I just missed you, Jason. Sorry about this. A close friend I call a brother betrayed me in the worst way. Oh, really? Oh, man, that's a shame. And is getting his karma, okay, in the hospital. Oh, blimey. As we speak for a few months. Oh, bless him. Some lessons can be hard to learn. But on the full moon last week, we spoke very clearly through my voice. Okay. Well, maybe you're there to help and find a solution for that friend. Because at the end of the day, he was a friend, and I'm not excusing because I don't know the situation, but maybe it's just helping him realize, or them to realize, him to sort of realize that he could have done things differently, at least, or maybe not even done that at all. And I think if you're willing to open up communication and speak to him, then maybe there's a good solution for the pair of you within that. So Chrissy says a white and golden light technique. Yeah, it keeps you sort of like crystal clear, as it were, crystal clean. Just visualize the light surrounding your body and setting the intent of not allowing harmful energy into that bubble. Yeah, well, yeah, totally. And it's only harmful energy because it's not right for you. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be harmful for another person. It'd be, there is the right person to help the right person, I guess. People are exhausting. This is great. Yeah, they are. They can be. They can be very exhausting. This is why you don't want to invest in it. And this is where it becomes important to how you engage your emotions and your consciousness together. That's really important. That it won't be exhausting. The reason they're exhausting is because their energy field is in a particular way, which forces your energy field to be in a particular way, which is very tiring for you because it's not natural to you. And that's where, that's probably where you can do it. Folks who have garnered 30 years experience shopping at the grocery store will park their cart in the center of the aisle as opposed to the side of it. Do you know, just steal it. Just start pushing it in front with your trolley. Just go for a wander with it. They'll be looking around kind of going, where's my trolley gun? You know, have fun with it. Like it's their first time. Okay. Then they jump and hurriedly excuse themselves when they see you waiting for them to move out the way. Yeah. You know, it's frustrating, isn't it? Yeah. Give credence to the NCP theory. I'm not sure what the NCP, National Car Park, is that what it is? Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Oi, oi, oi. Aussie, oh, Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Yeah, nice. Sunday evening, that was from Aussie Corpse, by the way. Sunday evening, every 6 p.m. on the east coast of USA. Is that where you are? Okay. Sunday evening. Okay. Pleasure to you. Chrissy, yeah, too heavy content. I woke up at 5, did you really? And got my head on straight by now. Okay, that's good. So, you know, we can really attack the good stuff. I agree. I feel, this is from Indigo, I feel when we remember, we are a spark. And I think just all moved. We are a spark of good, having a human 3D experience. There is no need for a shield. We remember we're playing a game. Yeah, it is a bit of a game. But it is just, you know, it's taking control of how you engage in the world, I think. You owned a 1965 Morris Minor, did you, Wendy? You had a white one. Mine was originally white. Then I painted it post pillar box red. So like post box red in the UK is a particular red for the postal service. So you're in July for July. Okay, but that's good. You should be in a good moment for giving up. You know, what often, say like if it's say like tobacco or something like that. If it's other things like alcohol and things like that, there's a lot of things that could be actually different things that could be tied into it. So you'd have to, you know, we'd have to look at that on a personal sort of level. But if it's just tobacco, the nicotine itself, you don't actually have an addiction for more than 8 hours, really. So once you go to bed and you wake up in the morning, you're past the addiction to nicotine. It's all the other stuff they put in it. And it's the habit as well. It's the physical habit. And so often people have to break the physical habit and replace that habit with something that is beneficial or better for you, or you consider better for you than not. So often people will eat cakes and biscuits and stuff like that because they're missing the vanilla, because you get a lot of vanilla in tobacco. You can replace it by every time you want a fag, or you know, a cigarette, or you know, tobacco, if it's that sort of thing, you replace it by a fruit. But first things first, you've got to confront that addiction to start with, kind of going, okay, I recognize I want that, I'm going to resist it, and then once it dies down, when it comes back the second time, then you can have the fruit. Third time resist, fourth time a fruit, fifth time resist, sixth time a fruit, if you know what I mean. And you've got to do that. And eventually you'll replace your addiction for tobacco for addiction for fruit, which will be a lot more beneficial for you. You know, it's a real sort of busman, you know, a sort of like a very quick version of it. Yeah. As a people pleaser, this is you, Chris, is it? I have found an increase in my discernment when it comes to people asking for help. Yeah. And yes, saying no is hard. It is hard. It is hard. I know that. And for people to hear, but likely what they need. This is it. You know, yeah, it's sometimes exactly what they need. Indigo, I'm on that path. I'd like to stop a habit too, and birthday next month. So wait till your birthday's through, and it'd be a lot easier for you. It'll cause you a lot less stress. In the meantime, just enjoy the habit. You know, so then you're not causing any stress for yourself. You just need to make a choice, Aussie. Exactly, there is that. Yeah, there is that process. And people, when they come and see me, I say to them, you want to give up smoking? And I look them straight, and I'll see within their energy, and I kind of go, you're not ready. You know what I mean? They got to want it. If they don't want it, I can't just make people stop. I haven't got like a remote control sort of thing. It's not how healing works. Healing works in an agreed engagement of combination of frequencies. Okay, so, but you can do it, Ozzy. You really can. How long after your birthday is a good time to give up? You can literally do it. I would say a week after your birthday. That's a week after the birthday is when your energy, on your birthday, your energy starts then increasing in the speed that it's transferring through you. And then it follows like seasons. Every 3 months it doubles in the first one, then it goes up by a third, then goes up by a quarter, and then goes back down to nothing again. So usually after the first week, you get the you're back into that flow, and it's usually a good time. So then it's easier to deal with the stress that's created by giving up that habit, and it's a lot easier to deal with that sort of stress, as it were. It feels right. I thought by this time after getting up, I would be climbing walls, but the opposite. It still might happen. Yes, it will definitely happen. It can definitely happen. There is no doubt about it. Yeah, it's and that's when you can use other things like fruit and etc. to replace your addiction. And then once you've replaced it, after a while, you can go back and you can actually see why you got addicted or why you opened it up. Invest in what resonates with I think you can do it though, by the way, Aussie though. This is from Michael. Invest in what resonates. We don't always need to react to a situation. That is totally so true. And reactionary situations, we are saturated now. We almost become immune to it in a way. And it's like, National Car Park, I think maybe NPC and non-player character. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I got my head into the idea of parking your cart like, why didn't you do it like NCP, NPC, the National Parking, whatever it was, National Car Park, yeah. So yeah, no, but yeah, no, non-playing character. Okay, yeah, okay. So Megan, you're in Baltimore, are you? In Maryland, east coast of the USA. Lovely place. I'd love to be coming over there, Megan, at some point, to be doing workshops and stuff like that. It'd be absolutely brilliant. I'm trying to manifest it for this year to do a bit of travelling, so, keep your eyes open. It's dope. Pot. And, it's dope, pot and tobacco. So dope is different to pot? Is that what you say, Aussie? It's, tobacco's, tobacco, thing is, nicotine is actually, can be incredibly beneficial to us as well. But you don't have to take it through smoking it. There's multitudes of ways of getting your nicotine, as it were. And it can be good for you. For a lot of people, actually, as a way of, it's like one of the best antidepressants that we've got, really. And that's why we, within cultures, we've done it over time, but dope and pot, I thought was the same thing. Maybe I'm getting that wrong. But yeah, no, it's, I think it's a case that addiction comes when we can't do without it, obviously. But if you've got complete control over it and that you don't really need it, then it becomes more of a pleasure than anything else. So, but yeah, I think you can do it. I think you can definitely do it, Aussie. The thing is, once you're clean, you'll be able to you'll see the world in a different way. Say it out loud. Say it, you're proud. I'm a non-smoker. And that's the way it goes. Yeah, just stop. If it feels right for you, just stop. You know what I mean? We could do a session on it. I'd have to look into your energy if that was all right. You tell me whether that's good or not, and and I'll have a look into it. Let's just could be gut issue. Tobacco numbs the gut too. Yeah, numbs out. It helps with IBS and is anti-parasital. Try chewing garlic cloves every hour. Whoa, that's very French. Chewing garlic cloves. It's a crutch for most. It most certainly is. Mary Jane. I love my Mary Jane. Who's that? That's Damian Marley, isn't it? Yeah. It's, if you're not functioning, then it's like anything. It's like when we're ill, we stop everything. Like when you're ill, you stop eating. And I think if you find that you're not functioning like you should do in life, then most definitely, at some point you've got to kind of stop everything and say, okay, I now want to function in my life. And I think that's probably the best thing about it. Look into my energy for sure. I'll do this. There's no falling. There's no falling. Willpower is strong. Okay, good. So just sort of relax, as it were. Let's just have a quick look. Sort of that's it. Thanking you very much. Just to have a look through your addiction sort of catalogue, as it were. Let's just sort of like. So you've tried to give it up, what, 2-3 times? Is this the third time now or the fourth time? How's, Sammy, it's lovely to see you, by the way. I saw your comment as well. I haven't seen you for some time. I hope you're all right. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, is it, is it the third or fourth time of doing it? That's what I need to know, because then there's a chain I need to break. And I just want to make sure that that's right, that it's a conscious effort. You've consciously tried 2 or 3 times, 3 times before, I think. But, you tell me if I'm wrong. I love the idea of having a talk about addiction, please. Addiction, yeah, we can talk about that. It's not a problem. Yeah, you're good. Excellent. That's good to hear. Your drugs are a tattered security blanket. It's a bit harsh, Michael, but I can understand that. Yeah. Alcohol. Okay, so we can go into the addiction. I'm just waiting for Ozzy to get back to me here. Have you tried stopping? Yeah, I've tried 3 times. You've tried 3 times. That's Sammy. What about you, Ozzy? Yeah, okay, so in my life time, this would be about the 4th time. It's exactly what I was thinking. Right, okay. And I did it 3 months, did it for 3 months, 10 years ago. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to break that chain of sort of thing, okay? So let me just get back into that. I just need to unhook that. Let me just get in there and unhook that. And there's one unhooked. Next one, unhook that addiction there, attempt, and that one there. We can get that chain and bring it right back to the beginning point. So let me just see. What we're going to do is, because obviously one thing leads to another, Ozzy. So obviously, we might start with a cigarette and then move on to dope and Mary Jane or whatever you're talking about. So I just need to sort of like... So did you have your first cigarette when you were 13? Is that right? So I'll just wait for you to tell me that and we'll go on to that. I will come back to the comments after that. I'm noted it. I'm thinking about quitting smoking, trying hard. We're going to come back to there. in my 3 or 4 times. I just need to know, can you remember, what I want you to do, Ozzy, is I want you to sit down, obviously, and I want you to picture that moment when you first tried something. About then. Yeah, I think I've got that's about then. I got it like classic sort of thing. After school, waiting for the bus at the bus stop, and someone said, "Hey, you want to try this?" That's the feeling I get from it. But can you remember the actual moment? Can you remember, what was the offer that someone offered you a cigarette or something like that? Can you remember that? I'm going to wait till you come back for that. I need to know that before I can go on. Can you remember that memory of accepting that first thing, Ozzy? Okay, you're sort of remembering it now. Okay, so what I want you to do, Ozzy, is flip the scenario. So rather than you saying and running out the reality of what it was, the actual reality of you saying, yeah, I'll try it, what I want you to do was offered a drive away, in a drive away, yeah, okay, and I went to the shots that had the first smoke. Okay, so what I want you to do is, I just want you to see yourself looking at that person who offered to you, and just nicely and gently, just looking them straight in the face and saying, "No, it's all right. I'm fine, thanks. I don't need that anymore." Okay, so I need you to just sort of like go through that process of saying that. Excellent. Okay, so now let's just take off that whole sort of chain reaction that brings you right up to today. And we're just going to throw that away because you don't need that anymore. Okay, so need to break that. The thing is, Ozzy, I will tell you now, if you don't heed this, it will start ruining you. Okay? There's none of this sort of like, oh, I didn't know, and everything like that. If you continue down that pathway, it will be very damaging to you. And it will be a shame and a waste, my friend. The world is a much better place when you're in here and in this world in a good way. But if you don't follow it through, it will bite you on the backside and might even take you out. Okay, let's be absolutely clear about this. Because once you start a process, you've got to go through it or else it will take you. I just thought I'd let you know. Okay? So, let me just now take out the other part of the addiction. Get rid of that. So then it no longer triggers you in the same way. Okay, so going back to that fruit that I was telling you about the other day, if you haven't smoked today already, then that's it. No more smoking. If you've already smoked today, you're going to need a sleep before you can actually activate this. So this day is lost if you've already had a smoke today. But if you haven't had a smoke today, it starts now. The moment you get that desire or that feeling coming up in you and sort of saying, yep, I really want that, you've got to resist. It will last around about 10-15 minutes and then it'll die down. And then when you get the second rising of desire for that, that's when you can have a fruit. So you've always got to have fruit with you, no matter where you are. When you go out, Like having a packet of fags, you've got to have some fruit with you. You know, I would suggest things like, you know, satsumas or whatever, and, you know, something that's easy to get your hands on and you can carry easily around and stuff like that. And you do that, and each day that desire will turn up a lot later in the day, and you'll get to a point within a week, you'll get to the point by the end of the day where that desire turns up, but you realize you've already got the fruit in your hand. And at that point there, you must understand that actually that's not a desire for a fag or dope. It's actually a desire for fruit. And you will lose that sense of a desire for, you know. Okay? And then it will play out like that. So you ready to rock and roll? Let's just get rid of the rest and let's just put it into function mode. There it is, there, there, and there. And that's okay. Excellent. The rest is for you to do, Ozzy, my friend. Okay, man. And Michael, I know you mean well. And yeah, don't look for comfort in it, Ozzy. Yeah, I totally agree with you. A little bit harsh sometimes, maybe, but you know, hey, man, I you know what I mean. Tough love. I understand where you're coming from. It is tough love, and you got a lot of love in all of that. You know. So let's go back to where we were. Let's talk about addiction. You want to talk about addiction? Always trying to listen to. Is it okay if I send a link? You can always send a link, no problem. For the music and stuff like that, don't mind. I don't own reality, so don't worry about it. White Feather, you're more than welcome to. So Priscilla, I do. What was that I do from? Are you in the process of getting married at the same time, Priscilla? Is that what it is? Okay. I won't. Let me just see where the thingy. Smoky quartz helps you quit smoking. Okay, this is from Albasta. Smoky quartz helps you quit smoking. Having one with you on your skin is best. In a pocket, second best. Fair enough. There you go. This is from Chrissy. And find something to do with your hands. Well, that's part of what the fruit helps as well. Yeah, exactly. But hand to mouth habit. Breaking that hand to mouth habit is really difficult because it's a natural thing, and it's a process. When you do that, you're actually pumping a lot. You're pumping a lot of things, and you know, it's breaking that sort of thing. Tea tree toothpicks, excellent. Thanking you very much, Michael. That's probably a good thing as well. Yeah. Is it on for me? Is it on for me to use mints? No, fruit. Seriously, don't use mints, because unfortunately the sugar and so forth in the mints is not. It's driving another addiction, and you'll find yourself in a different situation. So I'd just go for the natural stuff as much as possible. The more you can get it through naturally, it'd be brilliant. And you're going to do it. You know, Ozzy, you're going to do it. Seriously, your world would be so much better for it, man. Zappy hands. At it again. Zappy hands. Is that what it is? Okay. I like that, Chrissy. Could I ask for your help to check my energies, please? Malia, to confirm whether I have truly detached my attachment to... oh God, what's that? Hang on a second, I just lost the comment, Malia. Narcissistic MPD. What's an MPD? X. Thank you. Okay, let's have a look at that. Yeah, I think yeah, okay, so part of the problem here is sometimes, people just, if you let them take that, they end up taking that. And you seem to have that aspect, you allow someone to get under your skin a little bit too quickly or too easily, or, and, I should teach people that there's a difference. So, like in French, you say chacun son merde, chacun sa merde, right? And in French, that means each to their own crap, yeah? And, but it's sa merde. So it's feminized. Yeah, don't ask me, but it's feminized. But I was saying to people, I keep saying to people, when you're dealing with yourself, it's chacun son merde. So I masculinize it. So I change it. So French people kind of saying, I understand what you're saying, but it's not proper French and everything like that. And it's, you've got to now decide to live you, I think, Malia. I think there's nothing stopping you now from completely walking away from it. But you've also got to walk away from it from within you as well. And because in relationships, we build habits like addictions, and rituals and so forth, and it's breaking those habits and rituals which will then stop the people having an effect on you as well. And I think that's more the case here than anything else. I actually think possibly if it's a narcissistic person, they've probably got their eyes on some other victim now, as it were. So, but I don't know the situation, so I don't want to go too heavily into it because I'm nobody's judge. I have the willpower and will succeed. Yes, you will, Ozzy. I know you will, though, man. It's going to be brilliant. It's going to be brilliant. And I can't wait to hear you coming on here kind of going, do you know what? I'm 3 weeks out of the other end and it's going to be brilliant. Excuse me. I apologise. Yeah, Lynn, well done, Aussie. Yeah, well done. Exactly, Michael. Yeah, well done. Thanks, Michael, man. Well done. Yeah. Yeah, do it, man, Aussie. Life be so much better. Anything that could be, you could possibly need. Okay. Wishing you well. That's Coral. Hello, Coral. How you doing? That's one way of making an entrance. You came in quietly. I didn't say you say hello earlier on. Well done. 2 picks are great. Celestial Awakening. Hi, how you doing? Yes. Can I say something on, we weren't going to talk about addictions, but let's get on to that. Alcoholic addictions. It's a bizarre addiction. It's not like a lot of other things, because like smoking is a personalized addiction. It's something that you tend to do by yourself in a way more than anything else. And although dope is, it's built upon, pass the dutchie on the left-hand side, as it were, and you pass it around. It does start in groups and stuff like that. But alcohol, you've been busy, have you, Coral? I hope in a good way. It sounds like in a good way. It feels like in a good way. Yeah. So, yeah, love to you too as well, sort of Aussie, man. Do it. Seriously. It'd be so great. You'll love it. You will really love it. Yeah, feels like, you're doing stuff in a very, you've been busy in a positive way. Okay, back to the alcohol addiction. It is often, I look at it like an illness that is passed from one generation to another, and it can be passed from, say, like, doesn't have to go directly from father to son or mother to son or mother to daughter or father to daughter or anything like that. It can be from uncle to nephew and stuff like that, but it seems to be that's held within a family. And the problem is that you know it's like going into a cave, right? And the entrance of the cave is actually the opening of a trap. And you go really far and deep into that cave. You've gone so far and so deep into that cave, you don't even hear the trap closing behind you. And it's a really deep, ingrained addiction that needs a huge amounts of, which needs a great deal of support with people that are around a person who's got alcohol or who is trying to deal with alcohol situations. And often the only thing that we can do for them is to be there when they're crying, because it does fall down. You know, alcohol, cold turkey off of alcohol lasts quite a long time. It's quite a long addiction, whereas smoking can only be, you know, we can get it down to a week. And it can be a long addiction through alcohol, but it's, you know, holding the person up in a way of just giving them a hug is the best support you can give to the person. You can say, I understand and everything like that. Do you really? And even if you've been through it, you know it's a personal struggle. And so you need to break that connection. First things first, if you're going to give up alcohol, you need to break that connection that's been made through a family member, more, 9 times out of 10. From a family member, you need to break that chain of reaction. And it's the same thing for, say, like sexual addiction and stuff like that. Of some forms of a sexual addiction, that's also, passed on. It's like an illness. I look at it very much like an illness. And once you can sort of like, once you can sort of, you can break that chain, in theory, what you're doing is you're providing a healing for a whole family tree as it goes forward. Blimey. Hang on a second. I've just spilt my tea. 2 seconds, because it's on my computer. Do you know what? I was thinking about... Oh, blimey. I was thinking about... someone did a comment there saying... I'm back here now. What a palaver, eh? Just spilt my tea, and because I was thinking about my tea, actually, funnily enough. And who was it? Michael, I think, said sugar is a gateway, a soft gateway to addiction. Is a soft addiction, and I gave up. That's squeaking now, wiping up that sugar. Is a gateway addiction. It says gateway addiction. And I was just thinking that in my tea, I like my tea sugary, but I don't put sugar in it. I only put honey in it. And I guess honey is, it's a similar sort of thing. It's glucose. But I look at honey and I certainly get a completely different vibe off of honey to sugar cane, because honey has been through a process that the bees have eaten the pollen and then transformed it into honey, whereas we've taken a plant, a grass, and extracted the sugar, whereas it's been created, the sugar, through honey. And I see it in a very different way. So I use honey, but not sugar. And I think sugar is a really bad thing. I would stay off sugar as much as possible. Anything that you add or create or make, don't put sugar in it, put in honey, if I was you. There's lots of other sort of substitutes as well that you can put on it. Yeah, it was Michael says it's a gateway addiction. So yeah. Okay, so I missed a few comments here. I'm just going back. Okay, so Julie, I haven't had sweets since Kirby. Excellent. Yeah, okay. So did we do a bit of had a bit of raw honey over Christmas, which is great. Which is what I was just saying. Yeah, it's good. That's good to get it out of it all. Priscilla, it's the worst one, in my opinion. That's the alcohol thing, is it? Because it's easier to get and legal. I'm trying to quit, but it's a social issue for me. Is that alcohol, Priscilla? We can, yeah, as I just explained it all, yeah. Choose a healthy happiness over double happiness. Yeah. Yeah, sugar is not, I'm not a great fan of sugar. It's like, I also look at things that if you have to extract it, I'm not a big fan of it. So I'm not a big fan of alcohol. I don't like, when you get into things like ayahuasca and stuff like that, and magic mushrooms and stuff like that, it's an experience. I certainly wouldn't take it week in, week out if I was you. Well, not in that sort of sense, but it's a completely different to saying that other things like cocaine and so forth, which is an extraction, and humans do that extraction, and I'm really not up for extractions. Priscilla, yeah, you can do it. You tell her, Ozzy. You tell her. And we start giving it to our kids practically from day one. Oh yeah, no man, exactly. I guess you're still talking about sugar and not alcohol there. Alcoholism, this is from Lynn. Alcoholism has been prominent among the people in my life. Was able to distance myself from the effects of one person only to find another one very close to my heart. Heartbreaking to witness. Well, Lynn, this is the other thing is that you could be a it's like sometimes we're a carrier, but it doesn't actually manifest within a life, if you know what I mean. And it's because you're a carrier, you're attracting that to you in a way. There's also that as a possibility. It's hard to not to have a drink once you're in the company where everybody is drinking. The thing is with alcohol, Priscilla, I'll tell you straight. When you give up alcohol, you do have to go dry for, I would say, a minimum of 18 months. I would say the best time is to go dry for 2-3 years, and then you can have a different relationship with it, and it will not have the same effect on you and not the same relationship with it. I rarely drink. I really, I had a glass of wine over Christmas. I was quite willing to get completely drunk, I will tell you. I was willing to get, and it happens rarely now. It's not the same when I was a young man, but rarely happens now. So I don't. Oh, Manuka, yeah, poor blimey, yeah, and so I don't have the same relationship with it. And the first thing you need to do is you need to go dry, yeah. And you know what I mean? It's like you turn around to people and they're sort of, they say, offer you a drink, say, I don't really drink that. It doesn't really do anything for me. I prefer to do something else. And you don't have to explain what and everything like that, and if they keep pushing you, then they've probably got a problem themselves. And it's good also to recognize that within other people, that they've got a problem, Priscilla. And once you can recognize that, then you can, you don't want to support them in their problem, really. And you can move away from it. But it is difficult. I totally get that. Let me go back to where it was. It's yeah. So yeah, I do totally get that. Yeah. So Vita, I'm traveling to New York tomorrow, and we'll be dealing with an ex-husband to be, as well as a real estate matter. Yeah, you've got that going on. hopefully, wow, this is great, Vita. Yeah, this is great. I'm really chuffed. Okay, Vita. Yeah, this is the moment to nip it in the bud. We talked about it. I think it was about 4 lives back, didn't we? And said we're trying to create a situation where we had to open up the communication between you and the real estate and you and this person and everything like that. Seems like it's happening. Chuffed to bits for you, Vita. It's the moment. You're gonna knock the nail on the head, Vita. It's gonna be brilliant. It's going to be absolutely brilliant. Honey is so much better for much more fiber, and that's how helps slow the absorption of glucose into the gut. I also think the actual glucose is different. I think the glucose is shaped differently. You know, I think it's shaped differently. I don't think it's as nowhere near as nocive as sugar. Yeah, no, sugar's not a good thing, man. You know. Oops, I was just about to say something about you for helping me break my tea caffeine habit. Okay, and this comes from Freesia habit at the very moment you knocked that cup over. Well, I'll tell you what, this cup's been here for the last 2 hours. It's getting very cold, but okay, so it's alcohol. If you want to, if you really want, book up a session with me, Priscilla, and we'll go through it, because there's a lot of stuff that needs obviously to come to the surface as well at the same time, and I don't want to wash anybody's laundry in public, as it were. You know what I mean? Yeah, you can find a link in the description if you want to book up something. Yeah. They say that sugar is more extreme addiction than any drug or alcohol or smoking. Yeah, I think so as well. I see it in a lot of, because we actually do need sugar. We do need forms of sugar. That's the thing. That's the problem. That is the problem. It's not, it's like, but the problem is that we're concentrating our sugars that we take on in one area. We're getting it all from this one source, and that is not a good thing. You know, that's where we need to be, getting it through fructose as much as through honey, as much as through other things. Even you got a lot of sugar in, say, like, peppers as well and stuff like that, So I'm not sure, Alabaster, I'm not sure what happened on my spiritual journey, but I have no desire for any sort of experience with drugs. Well, you don't have to. It's not an obligation at all. I've tried, but after a point, I just stopped everything cold turkey. I did. Yeah, I'm a bit like that as well. You know what I mean? Kind of like it's very, abruptful sort of things. I found that came to me with age. Okay, this is from Chrissy. Once I turned 50, I had no desire to alter my perception with substances. Hang on a second, let me get back to it. Chose to meditate instead. Exactly, yeah. I enjoy a wine, but I don't feel the need to get totaled. Yeah, exactly. I enjoy wine. I actually really enjoy wine. But yeah, I enjoy wine. I just haven't, over the past few years, it must be about sort of 4 or 5 now. I don't really drink a great deal. So I've just developed, so this is from Abasta. I just developed a direct access to divine with zero help from any outside sources. And the desire just went away. Yeah, tobacco helps connect with ancients. Alcohol is all sorts of spirits. Yeah, there's all sorts of spirits in alcohol. That's why they call it spirits in a way, I guess. Get it done, Rita. Yeah, get it done, Rita. Get it sorted. You're going to get it sorted, Rita, man. It's going to be absolutely brilliant. Ozzy, sweet dreams, my friend. Yes. Need my beauty sleep as well, sort of things. Yeah, so do I. It's getting late here. I'm going to all love you all and leave you all soon, I'd like to thank you all for being here. It's been an absolute pleasure. Always is. Michael, when on your spiritual journey you come to a perception that those highs aren't permanent and start striving for the highest high. Yep. You know I know those highs. That's not where it's at. It's living life that's where it's at. I think totally where it's at. Living life. That's what it's all about. Michael. White Feather, thank you very much. I'm going to say goodnight to everyone. Tara, lovely to see you, Tara. How's it going? Hope it's going well. I haven't seen the link as yet. I'm waiting for that link. Do tell us when you've got it. I find a good session in the red light sauna. Okay. Helps purifying toxins and everything like that. Yeah, there's loads of things getting toxins out, like Chugga is also really good, and I really like that sort of thing, you know. Megan, thanking you very much for being here. Chrissy, thanking you very much for all the help as well. White Feather, it's lovely the help that you give. Coral, thanking you very much for being here as well. Little Wave, Alabaster, joy to you. Ozzy, thanking you for being here. Thanking you for doing what you're doing, man. Hats off to you. Tara, lovely to see you. Michael, thanking you very much, my friend. Julie, a pleasure as always. Nature Listens, absolutely lovely to see you as well. Priscilla, hopefully see you soon. If not, you know, give us a shout. We'll see if we can get something sorted. Frisia, absolutely beautiful. Lynn, lovely to see you again. Vita, get on and do it. You're going to do it, Vita. It's going to be fantastic. Yeah, I don't know. Have I forgotten anybody? I think I've gone through everybody who's joined in. I think I've gone through everybody that's joined in. Malia, if I'm saying it rightly, I think I am. Lovely, thanking you for being here. And just Sammy, lovely to see you. We didn't get onto what you. I was thinking about quitting smoking, trying hard. Don't think about it, just do it, Sammy. You know, you can see the process, as I said, into Indigo. Lovely to see you on here as well. Have I missed anybody? I don't think I have. I think I've got everybody. Wendy with your Morris Minor. Thanking you, Wendy, for being here as well. Lovely with your Morris Minor. Absolutely beautiful. I don't think there's anybody else. If I have missed someone, I do apologise. You know, if I have missed someone, yeah, I do apologise. But I will see you all very soon. Litlud, lovely to see you as well. Scorpio, you wanted to know about career. I will have to do that another time. I do apologise. Yes, I think that's all done. All that's left for me to say now, I guess, more than anything else, hang on a second, let me just get me ducks in rows here. What there's all left to say is thanking you very much for being here. Really do appreciate it. Appreciate all the support you give to this channel in whichever way it is. Commentating, liking, sharing, subscribing, of course. Sharing as well, which is really nice. It really does help us out. And everything like that, and it's a real sort of absolute pleasure to see everybody. I will see you all very soon, possibly on the video tomorrow night, which is all about the splitting of the two worlds, if not on your weekly readings as well. Okay, joy to you, and don't forget, life should be fun, so please do enjoy.